Tomahawk TV News, Montague County's only newscast, coming at you from Nocona High School.
Welcome back to Tomahawk TV Entertainment News. I'm your host, Connor Barrett, bringing you the latest in entertainment. This week for NHS Gamer, we have Tucker Roberts reviewing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and we have Alex Perez reviewing Monster Hunter World. Next, we have Garrett with Indian Insight Tech Review showing us the Elgato Game Recorder. And as always, I'm going to be kicking it all off with sports news. Locally, Indian baseball is going well into their season with a record of 6-6 after their loss to Jacksboro. And softball has a record of 1-4. In national sports news, the NFL draft will start on April 26th, and surprise, surprise, the Cleveland Browns have the first pick in the draft after that awesome 0-16 season last year, making them the second team in NFL history to ever end with an 0-16 record. Way to go, guys. You know, you're out here breaking records, taking names, cashing checks. And Vince McMahon, the WWE founder, recently announced that the XFL will be returning in 2020. It's a reimagined version of professional football. We've only seen one season of it, and that was in 2001, so ought to be pretty interesting. And internationally, USA won 23 total medals in Pyeongchang Winter Games with 9 gold medals. You know, it's all right, but wait till the Summer Olympics come around. We're going to clean up again. Well, that's all for me this week. I'm Connor Barrett, signing off for Tomahawk Sports.
Hello and welcome back to an all-new NHS Gamer. I'm Tucker Roberts, and today we'll be reviewing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch. The Legend of Zelda series has been a staple in Nintendo's history, dating back to when the first The Legend of Zelda game was released back in 1986 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a game where you travel across the remains of Hyrule Kingdom while exploring dungeons, completing quests, and fighting enemies just about everywhere you go. Breath of the Wild's story starts off where the Kingdom of Hyrule is preparing for an attack by the reoccurring Ganondorf. But this time, Ganon is in calamity form and Princess Zelda has gathered 4 warriors with the title of champions. These champions include Durok of the Gorons, Mipha of the Zoras, Urbosa of the Gerudo, and Rivali of the Rito. These champions are in charge of controlling each of the 4 divine beasts. But when Ganon came back, he was able to take over all the divine beasts, defeat all 4 of the champions, and Link was injured badly. Link wakes up 10,000 years later with the mission of retaking the divine beasts and defeating Ganon. Breath of the Wild's gameplay is mainly focused on combat and exploration. Link can attack in many ways, such as slashing, throwing, shooting an arrow, and using the objects around to your advantage. Link can also parry enemies by using a shield, and while you're in a battle, you better not get too attached to your weapon or shield, because they will break a lot, over and over. You also obtain a Sheikah Slate, which allows you to obtain rooms, which helps Link solve puzzles. Breath of the Wild's controls fall into easy to do and hard to pull off, but once you get the hang of it, the controls feel smooth, and the satisfaction of learning one of the harder ones is incredible. Breath of the Wild's immersion has every element that says that this takes place in the Zeldaverse, such as the puzzles that keep getting harder, finding secrets in the most random places, and discovering a boss while exploring Hyrule. Breath of the Wild's charm is enthralling by the cartoonish graphics and the characters' personalities that you meet throughout the game. And for once in the Legend of Zelda series, they feature full voice acting that helps develop each character's personality even more.
Can you please relay this message?
And that tops off this game review. An ARC overall Tomahawk score for Breath of the Wild is a full score of 20 out of 20. This has been Tucker Roberts, and don't get in a fight with a Lionel.
Hello, I'm Alex Perez with this week's NHS Gamer. And this week, we cover the latest entry in one of my favorite game series of all time, Monster Hunter World. A game with a simple yet addictive premise. Find a monster. Hunt said monster. Skin monster to make it in a new pair of shoes or gloves. Then find the next monster that you want to turn into your latest hat. And continue. With monsters constantly getting larger and harder to fight, it's easy to get at least 100 hours out of this game. Now, to start out, there isn't much to talk about when it comes to story in a Monster Hunter game in general, but there's actually a well-made story in Monster Hunter World. You play as a member of the 5th Fleet, a group of hunters that's been sent to the New World in order to find out why elder dragons have been migrating to this location. Along the way, you're introduced to some monsters that are unique to the area, as well as new areas to explore. Now, no one really comes to a Monster Hunter game for the story. They come for the highly addictive gameplay, and Monster Hunter World delivers that in spades. With plenty of weapons, with their own playstyles, Monster Hunter World makes sure you always go into a hunt ready. They also serve many monsters with their own habits and unique attack patterns, as well as so many ways to tackle a hunt that you can end up hunting the same monster 100 times and still have fun. By the way, a quick tip for those new players, always go to the canteen to eat a meal before a hunt. Not just because you can get a huge advantage in a hunt, but also because of the best cutscene you can see of a cat serving you food ever. Now, there have been many changes to the game from previous entries, so for new players and veterans alike, let me tell you what's going on. In the old games, there used to be a set of each armor for one of the melee weapons, and a unique set for the gunning weapons too. But they got rid of that concept altogether. Now, any weapon can go with any armor. They also allow you to preview the armor before making it, so you can see how it looks like on your character. Monster Hunter World does well to keep you in its world. It does so by making the world around you completely dynamic. It may be in the middle of a hunt when out of nowhere, a monster charges in and helps you out, only to try to down you itself later. Always keeping you on your toes and giving you plenty of ways to take down your prey. All in all, Monster Hunter World is a great game, with more content than you can shake a stick at. With lots of free DLC, with fan favorite monsters making a return into the great game, it only promises to get better. We here at Tomahawk TV News gave Monster Hunter World a 17 out of 20. This has been Alex Perez signing out.
I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
Hello everybody, my name is Garrett Stone, coming to you with our newest episode of Indian Inside Tech Reviews. This week we're looking at something that's widely used here in the Tomahawk studio, but something we've never really given much thought to, yet it's still a key resource in our production. I'm referring, of course, to the Elgato recording device. In October 2014, the Elgato HD60 was released as a video game and console screen capture device for players to use when recording clips for videos, live streaming, and various other uses that these clips have. The slim and compact design of the device makes it an easily portable system, so if you need to quickly get something on video, as long as you have your console, cords, and a computer, you're good to go. The usability is very simple, as the input and output ports are marked for quick use and the computer application takes you through everything you need to do. Unless you have a PS4, which requires you to turn off HDMC to use, the Elgato only plugs into the console, television, and computer before you can start recording. Performs great as it can record at 1080p and at 60 frames a second, and is also useful for a variety of jobs that need clips from a video game. All this included, we at Tomahawk TV Entertainment News give the Elgato a HD60 a 19 out of 20. This has been Garrett Stone with the Indian Inside Tech Review. Console streaming sucks, and thank you for watching. I know from experience.
Well, that's it for this week in Entertainment News. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week.